Today I have an update about my book, Waiting for the Sun to Come Down. I have here an early run copy, and I am so excited for you to get your hands on this. It was 95% complete when I announced it over the summer, and it turns out that last 5% is really hard. But it's been finished for a little while now, so it's just a matter of getting enough printed and shipped out to you there. So I want to talk about how this project came about. This is my passion, these types of photos, naturally lit cars in and around dramatic shadows. So I think it was in 2020 I had the thought to put them into a volume of some sort, but didn't really have a plan. But I just started earmarking images, putting them into a folder. These are my favorite images that I've shot, not necessarily my most popular or best, but my favorite. And I wanted to see them all together in one place and see where that went. That folder was called Cars in the Shadows, which was sort of the working title for all this. I grabbed stuff from my archives. I had a ton in mind that I knew I wanted to include. And also I was still shooting cars very regularly, and on occasion getting new images that I can include that fit within this set. So when I first spoke with the publisher about this in September 2023, I had like 75 or 80 images, and I felt really good about it. At that point, I was focused on the layout and the design, but once I started laying this out in January, I realized I didn't have as many photos as I thought. So I had to go back and find more. The things that were kind of rejected were in a folder that I called secondary. A lot of this was alternate angles of things that ended up in the book, or a lot of stuff with kind of messy shadows where it's like kind of a leafy shadow that I didn't really love, so I didn't include some of these. Or if it was, I had 3 images, I picked the strongest one. The interesting one was this Lancia Fulvia. These were 2 of my favorite shots of this car, and then going back, I was able to find a new photo that I think was even stronger. And this wasn't one that I had known about at the time when I took it in 2021. I didn't use that photo or post it or share it anywhere, so it's new in this book. So these secondary, like I said, this secondary is all kind of alternates and rejects, and it was hard to filter out some of these, but that was the process. Just had a lot of these Fiats, a lot of just alternates. This SLK, this was taken in 2011, and I thought, maybe that's something I can use, but I just don't think the car fits, and I wasn't really going for the same thing. And also, if I may start critiquing, I don't like how that curb is cutting off the tire there. The ones that did end up became much stronger, and so I was going through archives and finding photos that maybe I hadn't looked at that much, or I'd been in a hurry to turn out a photo set and kind of overlooked something. This Boxster Spider photo was one that it didn't really take a lot of edits to get it here. This was, I had done a photo set of the car. I'd forgotten I had taken this shadow photo. I went back and found it, and there was a lot of instances of stuff like that where I found something new that I hadn't remembered taking, and it fit within the set and everything. So that was exciting. And then additionally, there were just cars that I shot more recently. I shot this Alfa SZ in June, and I was hoping to be able to get something I could use in the book, and luckily I could. I shot this Ferrari around the same time. This NSX Type R, this was earlier in the year, and I hadn't really been seeking the photo, but just the way that the light was in January at this location, I was somewhere trying to find shade to shoot interior, and the light sort of found me, so it worked out really well. I wasn't seeking to get that shot. This Maserati Compson, I was really excited to be able to include this because it's such a weird and special car, and normally a really dark color like this chocolate brown doesn't pop against the black, but it was getting just enough light that it really worked. I think we ended up with a little over 100 photos in the book, but I'm so glad I pushed and found more and shot more and brought the numbers up and really filtered out to get the strongest stuff in there. I'm so happy with the selections. I don't think there's anything in there where it's like, oh, this is making up the numbers. I think everything is special to me and significant and has a place in this book. So a couple of frequently asked questions. The cars come from a lot of places. Some of them were press vehicles, some belonged to friends who wanted me to shoot them. Some of them were just in the paddocks at racetracks, and a lot of them were cars that I happened to be shooting for a sale listing. It's kind of like a one for you, one for me situation. If there was a time or the opportunity presented itself, I would get a weird shadow photo while I was out there. But again, it has to be the right place, the right light conditions, and the right car. There are a lot of cars I didn't really have an interest in shooting a shadow photo with because I didn't think they would be a great fit. And there were some cars where there wasn't time or I wasn't in a suitable location. You can still order the book. If you're in the US, we're taking US orders now. The link is here on the screen at the bottom, also in the description. Once we fulfill the US orders, we will open up international orders. So I appreciate your patience on that. Oh, and one last thing. Since making the initial announcement, I am thrilled to be able to share that the foreword was written by Tony Hatter. He is a former Porsche designer who designed the 993, all of the 911 GT1s, and he worked on the Carrera GT. So it is a dream come true for me to have him involved, and he wrote a really lovely thing, and I'm really excited for you all to see that. So I think that does it for this update. Thank you for watching. Please order the book if that's something you might be into, or give it as a gift if you know someone who might be interested. The info is below, and I will see you next time.